The MCG is a sacred ground, and for Collingwood, it's their home. For most, it's a fortress, but on Saturday night, under the lights, in front of 82k, Brisbane didn't just visit, they conquered it. This wasn't just a win, this was a statement. After a disappointing last week, they came into this game not being the Pies of the G since 2014 and a 4-game losing streak versus them. They hadn't looked this dangerous and polished away from home in a long time. But on a night built for champions, it was a young man with only a handful of games who stole the headline. Logan Morris didn't just arrive, he put a big billboard up. 6 goals, all shapes, all sizes, big moments and all clutch. And around him, a Brisbane side that just sent a timely reminder they've done this before and they can do it again. Make sure you like and subscribe, and let's get into it. From the opening bounce, it was obvious that Brisbane were up for this task. Fast, physical, controlled. The way to beat Pies is get them into second gear early. And their forward line looked a little bit different. No Oscar McInerney shorting up there. Curveball number 1 entered the fray, and Henry Smith, playing his first game this year, kicked 2 goals in the opening turn. Both dead eyes straight. Both showed signs of trouble brewing for the Pies. The curveball too was Logan Morris. Almost on a third in the opening, he looked unbothered by Moore, unbothered by the defence, and he looked at home. And behind him, Lachie Neale, McCluggage, the architects. Neale was dominant in the first quarter and was dictating the tempo. And Hugh McCluggage, who might be the most unheralded superstar of today's game, had 3 score involvements and looked like he was about to break the game open. The Pies were shell-shocked, 5 goals against, 3 from turnover. Pies, well, literally finding the corridor and getting hurt. Brisbane composed at the back, they were sharp. Collingwood looked like they had to go into the second gear very early. And then it came in that second quarter. As you know, this Collingwood group does better than anyone, their ability to respond. They beat back, the Pies lifted their forward half pressure, and the Lions suddenly couldn't get the ball moving out their back half. Their long kicks were picked off. Their backs were under siege. John McGorry, playing in his first game from early in the season, he announced his return with a trademark long thumb. There was some dash and burst. Nick Dacos started to get some touches as well. The linking handball was coming back. The MCG was buzzing after Nick Dacos kicked his goal. And suddenly, 5 goals to 2, the margin a slim point. The Lions' early dominance was eroded, and we'd seen this script before. Were the Pies about to dig themselves out of the massive hole? But, to Lions' credit, they came out, because the third quarter, Brisbane showed their blueprint. Precision, pressure, and poise. 4 goals to 1, winning the clearances by 11. Neale and McCluggage went absolutely supersonic. 9 touches between them in the third quarter. They weren't just winning the fight, they were feeding runners, they were controlling tempo and shifting momentum against a frantic Magpie side. And the front half did their bit. Logan Morris snaps a speech of a goal. His 5th game came from 1 step and a tight snap from barely a tightest angle. A proper forwards goal, a confidence goal, and a guy that is really stepping into the shoes of Joe Danaher. And Henry Smith, he boxed up again. His 3rd goal came in an absolute clutch moment, and he didn't flinch. This was no longer a party trick. This was real, and the Lions, with 30 minutes to go, had a 3-goal lead at the G. Collingwood, as they always do in the 4th quarter, they came with everything. In comes Bobby Hill. Returning was the sub. Took an absolute hanger that shook the stands. And it was that kind of catalyst that you were like, okay, the MCG is roaring. The Pies are back. He replaced, obviously, Dugolli. He had done his part in an early return, and that's good, positive news for them. But Brisbane weren't panicked. Zac Bailey was very quiet in the opening half. He stepped up when it matters, as he often does. And he was brilliant, winning ground balls, shrugging contact, and stabbed the dagger into the hearts of the Pies. Game, set, match with his goal. Logan Morris ate up the piss and had the cherry on top. And in the end, they got the run and they won the game. 14-8-92, playing 10-5-65. A statement win. So the moments that mattered for me, Logan Morris, He was fantastic. 6 completely different styles, contested marks, left foot, on the lead, on the run. He was ice cold. And he's a real good story for the future for them. But a lot of people have said the Lions are missing Jordan. What's going to happen? He really showed. Henry Smith coming in, unheralded, untried, 3 goals, first game of the year. Took his moment, didn't miss. And it shows the depth that the Lions have. Their system is really, really complementary. Hugh McCluggage, Lachie Neale, the old firm, 70 touches between them, 19 clearances, 12 score involvements. When Brisbane's system was threatened in the quarter 2, they stood up and controlled the game and dictated it. 2 superstars of the game. Collingwood's fragile game, really, here. Quarter 2 was good, but you really are missing Jeremy Howe. Neale, I thought, exposed the midfield around stoppage, and so did McCluggage, carved through their zones. That is a worrying sign for them. They'd had to tinker, and they did do this in 2023. It has to be remembered. But this is probably a little warning sign of tinkering a bit too much. And let's give a shout out to Revel. He came in early after Leicester copped a nasty knock to the face. But Revel, I really enjoyed how he came in. He really did his job well. He's dominated structurally. He speaks volumes at how strong their system is. I'm a big fan of Bruce Revel. Top blow. What does this mean? Brisbane have some flaws, it's true, but they have just come out here and absolutely decimated one of the top teams in the comp. This is a real proof of concept. Yes, they are flawed, so are a lot of the top 9 teams, but with 3 games less, that double chance now is back in grasp. Logan Morris looks like he's hitting the strides at the right time, and the midfield is humming, absolutely humming. And that will be a little bit of a warning to the competition. You can't sag off on the corridor against this side. You can't let Neale and McCluggage have first possession, and you certainly can't let Morris get separation because they will punish you. And a shout out to Hipwood as well. He does his role incredibly well, just as that accessory, and moves players. For Collingwood, they sit on a little bit of shaky ground. Lost to Fremantle, Gold Coast, now Brisbane. These sides, you move the ball quickly, use the corridor, and challenge the mids defensively when you are missing key defensive personnel is a problem. Jeremy Howe will come back, but the Dacos brothers again were strong with 29 touches each. The old guard pumped up, but he has some structural cracks. The centre clearance, it did dry up. The backline target is too easy when you can make more accountable. I'm a big fan of Darcy Moore, but he isn't a one-on-one defender. And for me, Charlie Dean's not quite cutting it. And when they did win it back, the overlap run that once defined them was very inconsistent. It's going to be a real interesting one of what Craig McRae does to reset these magnets, because this version of the Pies is brave, it's energetic, it's creative, but it's very, very beatable. And it won't be when they get their key personnel back. Final thoughts then. There's a moment in every season when a contender becomes a believer and when you lose faith. For Brisbane last week, we maybe lost faith, but this was that moment on the biggest stage against the top club. Without their biggest names, yes, but they roared. Logan Morris played the game of his life. Henry Smith looked very reliable, and McCluggage and Neale are back in form. And Collingwood, yes, this time they got outplayed, outmuscled, outclassed. But they have got personnel to back. John DeGoey looks like he'll be back for the run, and Bobby Hill. But for the Brisbane, it's just that little thing. They've got that knock. They can do it under pressure at the G, and who's ready for September is going to be very intriguing in this last 3 weeks. So chat, let me know. Logan Morris, breakout star, you excited? He really does look like a terrific footballer. And are we worried about the Pies? I'm not personally, but let me know your thoughts. And Brisbane, is their best footy ahead of them, or is this just a flash in the pan? He seems so seesaw at the moment. Let me know in the comments. Love to hear them. I'll read them all. I'll try and reply to everyone as well. Do me a solid. If you like these little reviews, like and subscribe. But I love personal. Thank you very much for all those who reached out on my mail. You can see my voice is a little bit better. So I'm looking forward to doing the watch along tonight with you guys. And also with the big Rats marker tonight for Keep Right. But as always, appreciate the support. Peace, love, and light. Bye, man.